What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Now, I love my East Coast ladies. Okay, we have got a very special guest that is out of Virginia. She is a licensed minister, a motivator, and a mentor, taking her message of impact nationwide. Please welcome Carenda Deonne. Corinda, thank you for being here today. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Listen, I am so excited to be here with you on your platform. Thanks for having me. I love label free. That's the only way to live your best life. Oh my God.
Amen. Amen.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm excited to just share with your listeners just my message of impact. And, I have an M4 approach to my business model. And so what I do, I focus on four major things, which is motivational speaking, marketing, mediation, and mentoring. So if you find yourself in any of those categories, that's my specialty, right? And so I'm focused on helping individuals professionally and personally to take aim. Now, I'm sure you're really familiar with the saying and the term that we've said forever, for decades, when life gives you lemons to do what?
Yeah, make lemonade.
Make
Yeah.
lemonade. Right. So I'm like, you know what? There was a time in my life where I was going through some very major challenges and situations. I've had health challenges and tragedies, and I've been through 2 divorces. And I said, you know what? I don't want to make lemonade. I don't want to make lemonade anymore. And so a friend of mine said, well, don't take aim. And I was like, oh
Awesome.
my God.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's it. Yes. And so I'm all about finding the strength, the faith, and the fortitude to throw those lemons back. Absolutely.
That's actually the first time I've heard someone kind of take that approach, and I really like that. And I mean, yeah, it's good to be positive, but there's also comes a point where instead of just letting things like roll over you into staying positive, you have to like kind of stand up and fight back a little bit. I mean, that's and I think that it's necessary because or else you're just going to become some kind of limp noodle and be like, oh yeah, everything's peachy, like
Limp noodle. I like that.
But you know what I mean? Like
do.
you can't let life bulldoze you, even if you are a positive person. And taking aim is I think, a healthier approach.
It is.
Makes sense.
It is. It's a much healthier approach. And you know what? It's a much more realistic approach, right? Because a lot of times we put unrealistic expectations on ourselves. We put this unnecessary pressure on ourselves. And taking aim is saying, you know what? Yes, I'm staying positive, but I'm also taking accountability,
Yeah.
right? I'm staying positive, but I'm also going to take a good look at me. And so instead of pointing the finger outward and instead of being dismissive and defensive, right, I'm going to take an inward look and I'm going to look at the ways in which I can grow to be a better me, to be better for other people.
Yeah. No, I love
Yeah.
that. No, I love that. So sorry to hear like some of the stuff you've been through. I feel
Yeah.
like people, and I love talking to people that have been through a lot,
Hmm.
my guests, because I feel like that has really what set them on the path that they're on, like yourself.
Yeah.
And it builds a lot of character. It gives you a lot of wisdom, and
Yeah.
you have been put in a position, and it's almost like a blessing that God takes you through those things that to put you in that position so that you can help others find their way, right? And so,
That's so true.
how long ago did you start your business?
Now, I've been speaking and doing things for a very long, long time, right?
Okay.
But the Carenda Deonne LLC consulting agency launched in 2019, so not very long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but I've been really on this motivational, empowering message for a very long time, and so I'm just excited now that even though I've been doing things for a long time, I'm excited now that I finally feel settlement. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where it's I'm focused and I'm 100% present. The things that I was doing before were great, but I was all over the place,
Yeah.
right? And now I am 100% present to those four focal approaches that I talked about. And so I love it. I'm just overjoyed on, even though, like you said, we go through things and challenges, and sometimes it seems insurmountable. But at the end of the day, it all works together for your good. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You've got such great energy. I'm loving it. So let's talk about like who your target like clients would be and what that process would look like if they wanted to reach out and work with you.
Sure. So my target is women, but the women that really are really my target are women who are finally ready to be transparent and vulnerable. These are women who appear to have it all together. These are women who know what to say, how to smile, the poise. They have
Yeah.
all of that, right? But inwardly, there is a thunderstorm, there is a tornado going on, right? And so they are now finally ready to say, what, I don't care what people think anymore. I don't care what people may say. I have got to work on me.
Yeah.
So they come to that breaking point, right? And that's the best place to be sometimes, because you are just a sponge. You're ready to really be receptive, to grow, and to learn. But they have accomplished much. They are women who are very positive and very impactful, but they haven't dealt with some things that have been rooted in them for a very long time. So that's who I really connect with.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love it. Yeah. And we all have a story, right? We all
Yeah.
have something that we've been through, but have we grown from that? And what has been the harvest? And can you speak of that?
Yeah.
So I help them do that.
I love that. And I feel like what you're doing now is even more relevant. So I talked to a lot of different coaches and you all have a very different approach. And my booking manager, you didn't get a chance to talk to her. Julie, she's like Queen, and because we talk, call each other Queen. She's like,
Yeah.
Queen, I've got all these coaches that want to be on the show, and she's like, what would you like me to do? I said, I want to talk to all of them
Yeah.
because every coach, every life coach or consultant or mentor, what have you, all has a different approach, and most of my coaches always pretty much get a client from my show. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, because your message is going to be relatable to you, to someone else than the next coach, right? And
Yeah.
your story is going to someone's going to be able to relate to your story, what you like, things that you've gone through that will
Hmm.
want to work with you. And so I was just like, Queen, set them all up because I love talking to them. They all have a different perspective, and
Yeah.
they all find. I think almost every single coach I've had on my show has gotten a client from one of my audience members, which is
That's
and
amazing.
yes, and that means that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to serve
Yeah.
you, Um, but I just love that, because if someone could, my story is relatable to someone else out there that will give them the courage to maybe start a podcast of their own or
Yes.
put themselves back out there to start living life again. Because I was married, my husband passed away, I was
Mm.
forced to start over,
Hmm.
and like you said, to grow. I
Hmm.
have grown so much in the last 5 years, and I did
Hmm.
not allow that situation to define me and
Right.
or to hold me back. But I had to choose. I
Yeah.
had to choose. Okay, am I going to stay in the same place forever, or am I going to rise above this and just become a better version of myself and to keep it moving forward? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's it. If I can say this really quickly, that's it. It is a choice. It's a choice. You know, Taking aim is a choice. You can make lemonade if you want to, right? I'm not forcing you that you have to take aim. It's a choice. But I promise you, if you choose to take aim,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you are going to be a phenomenal spirit, a phenomenal presence, a phenomenal individual. So it is a choice. You're right.
And I think so. What I've experienced myself personally is that when you do decide, and someone comes to you and says, you know what, my life is just not where I need it to be. I need your help. When they make that decision to work with you and start putting those pillars in place and dealing with all that thunderstorm that you said internally,
Mhm.
miracles happen. Like your
They do.
life just evolves in such a natural way that is just, oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm getting myself emotional. But you know what I mean? Because it's just like,
Yes.
and I can speak for myself. Like I went from like almost losing everything to
Yeah.
being in the most happiest, the best, happiest place in my life. And
Yes.
although I can't live off of my podcast yet, but I'm absolutely love doing it. And I just decided, I got an email one day and I said how to start a podcast. I'm like, that's it. I'm starting a podcast, and it's just been amazing. I love
I
talking
love
to
it.
amazing people like yourself, and
Oh.
it's just been such a great journey.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what matters, and that's what counts. And again, like I said, settlement. You know, when you come to that place of settlement, you know, it's not about title anymore. It's not about what I drive or where I live. It's about this inward joy and peace
Yeah.
that is so abundant, right? And just freely flows, right? Because there are times when, unfortunately, and I've been here, I don't know if you have either, but you have to force some things.
Yeah.
But when you come into a place of settlement, nothing has to be forced. You don't have to bribe or beg. It is a natural, authentic flow.
Yeah.
And that energy is exerted, out into the world, and it attracts others. And so you just continue to grow and blossom from that. Absolutely.
Hey guys, Deanna here with Label Free Podcast. Are you a six-pack kind of guy or a dad bod kind of guy? Either way, our friends at Manscaped have the fellas' hairy bodies covered. They just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right, you heard that right. 4.0. Trim from the leaders in male grooming. So the man in your life can join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code LabelFree20. That's right, 20% off with free shipping with the code LabelFree20. So head on over to their website, manscaped.com, and pick up something for yourself, the man in your life, whomever that might want to benefit from keeping everything nice and tight for the summer. Tell us more about you have a book. Okay.
Yes.
We need to talk about that. Tell us more about your book, Perfect Patty Messed Up.
Oh my gosh, Perfect Patty. Listen, I was Perfect Patty. Sometimes I got to keep Perfect Patty in check, right?
Yeah.
Perfect Patty is again, and I've kind of talked about her a little bit before, but she has this thing of, if it's not perfect, it's not right. If it's not perfect, then it can't work. It's not whole. It's not doable. And living like that is bondage. It really is bondage, right? I mean, you're so caught up on the little things that you can't even enjoy life, right? It's like, did I do this? Did I do that? Oh my gosh, what happens if just breathe, right? We are going to mess up. That is inevitable. We are going to fail at times, and don't see it as failure. See it as a way in which you learn in order to bounce back. But life brings so much. And so if you try to balance and be perfect at the same time, I promise you at some point there's going to be instability, right? Okay. So Perfect Patty Messed Up is a 40-day inspirational devotional for women who really are, they really are ready to say, you know what, I messed up, but it's okay. And now I want peace, in saying that, like, they finally find this closure and this peace to say it's okay. And so it's like a personal journal, because it's it has your daily message, and then it has prayer points, and then it has questions for you to answer. So it's not one of those books you can like just maybe pass to your girlfriend. You have to be like, no, get your own. But I love it because it really helps women to grow in grace. Sure. And go peacefully forward, even when we mess up. So yeah.
I can relate to that, because I mean, I'm not so much like that anymore, but where you feel like everything has to be perfect, make you feel like you're in control of your life. And if it's not perfect, you feel completely out of control. And it's more, and it's very, when you let that, I don't know if you call it mindset, or let that almost like that habit go. Yeah. It's very freeing.
It's very freeing. And the problem is, if I'll say this really quickly, it can become an addiction, like this perfectionism thing, right? It becomes this addiction. And so you got to break it, because that's the only way in which people can really see the real you, because at the end of the day people want you,
Yeah.
right? They want you, and they want the authentic you. They want that natural, pure presence of who you are, regardless of what has happened, regardless of even the mistakes that you've made. That's who they want to show up. And so I love this book. And you know what, it was inspired by Tyler Perry's movie Why Did I Get Married? And so there's this scene with Janet Jackson, and she comes across as having it all together. But there's this scene where she's like, "Perfect Patty messed up." And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm so perfect, Patty. Let me get my life together. So, yeah, so 40 days
Oh,
of
wow.
breaking that addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. And where can people, where can the audience find that?
Absolutely. So they can purchase the book off of Amazon. So go to Amazon.com, or if you go to my website, it'll link you right there to also purchase the book at CarendaDeonne.com.
Awesome. And I'll make sure I put those links in the description of the episode.
Yay.
I like this question actually, because I've really never heard consultant or coach or mentor like yourself use the take aim. But
Mhm.
why are women afraid to take aim? I think that
Mm,
that's really important.
yeah. I think women are afraid to take aim for three reasons. One, they don't trust themselves. Two, they haven't forgiven themselves.
Mm, mm,
And three, they haven't loved themselves, right? So those are the three reasons why I feel that women, they struggle in taking aim, right? Again, lack of trust,
yeah,
right? If you don't trust you, you know, you're going to fight your
yeah,
entire life.
yeah,
There's going to be conflict with you and the inner you your entire life. But when you learn how to trust yourself, you feel comfortable with setting boundaries, and
yeah,
you feel comfortable speaking up, right? And so when women feel more comfortable in that, they can learn how to take aim, right? So trusting yourself. Again, forgiving yourself. If you haven't forgiven yourself, you will have that blame game, that woe is me,
yeah,
and you will actually self sabotage good opportunities. You'll self sabotage good people who really do care about you. So, learning how to come in that process and journey of self forgiveness, right? And then, and as I said too, loving yourself. So, so, so important. I believe that love is a healer. And when you love yourself, oh my gosh, you take care of yourself,
yeah,
right? You value you, and you put time and effort in making sure that mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, that you want to be the best you possible.
yeah. No, I love that. So awesome. Yeah. I think that a lot of women think that the outward getting love from the outside, it makes them feel love on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And when that love is shaken for whatever reason, like if it's
Yep.
like your love with your parents, love with your child, love with your significant other,
Yep.
then they don't feel good because I've been there. I've
I've
been
been there.
it's a very it's a very dysfunctional place to be. And,
Yes,
and it takes, I mean, it takes a while. I mean, it takes a while to really start to understand what it means to love yourself.
it
And
really does.
you know, and
Really does.
and it's like you said, it's very healing. And
It's very healing.
yeah,
And it helps when you have an intimate relationship, with Christ. It helps when you can lean upon and gleam upon, read upon, and be in presence upon that love as well, that he has for us. So yeah, but it does take time. But you're right. When you don't love yourself, it is very dysfunctional.
yeah,
Very, very dysfunctional, right? And it's time to have, again, as I've said, and I don't know who this word is for, but it is time to have settlement.
yes,
It really is. I want this, whatever listener, if you're listening, I want this to be your season, your time of settlement. Yes, absolutely.
I love that. And before we start wrapping things up, can you just explain to the audience what that means in regards to settlement? I get what
Mm,
you mean because
yeah,
we were talking about that before we started recording, but I really I love that. I love the way you put that.
yeah. Settlement is a place in which, even in the storm, And even in the wind, and even with all the things that are coming and being thrown at you, settlement is your security in the love and in the power of peace and in the power of grace that you cannot be moved, right? You cannot be uprooted and act out of character or integrity. You cannot be uprooted and move backwards. So even in everything that's coming your way, there is a settlement that says, you know what? I am enough.
Yeah.
The storm will pass, and I will learn from whatever lesson it is that I need to learn from. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's just this unspoken peace to you. There's this unspoken sense of being just rooted and grounded in who you are and what you believe, and in the hope that better days are ahead, because they are.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah.
it. Oh, that's awesome, Corinda. Oh, yes. Such
Yeah.
great words to start my day off with. I'm ready to go.
All
um,
those lemons, girl.
I'm gonna take aim, real, be like, all
Hey.
right, get out of my way.
Yeah.
That was a lot of great wisdom. Is there any last words of advice that you'd like to leave with the audience before we say goodbye?
Oh gosh, we covered so much today, but I will end. This is a personal quote that I have, and I always like to share it as much as possible. And the quote is this: if your shoes are untied, you will trip. If they stay untied, you will fall. Don't be your own stumbling block. So, for all of the listeners out there, please don't be your own stumbling block. Do whatever you need to do. Take accountability, love yourself, trust yourself, forgive yourself, and most importantly, please, please, please throw those lemons back.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was beautifully put. I love that. Tie your shoes too. You don't want to trip.
Yeah, tie them and throw those lemons back.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. All right. Thank you very much for being a guest, Corinda. I'll make sure that I put all your links in the description of the episode.
Thank
Great
you.
words of wisdom. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.